My name is Tara Harvey, and this is my story. In 1999, I married Jeremy Harvey. I was 22, he was 24, and we were set out on a journey of a new life together, and just seeing where all those possibilities could lead. Had a typical marriage, had babies, and he started growing in his job and being more successful. And we moved to Tennessee, and he started dealing with some anxiety and things, and was medicated for that. And then as you grow older and you go through life and more bills pile on and life happens, stress comes about, he wasn't able to deal with a lot of those issues that came on, so he would go and doctors would give him more medication, and got to the point where he was diagnosed with chronic depression. And so he had many medications that went along with that, and then on top of that he would self-medicate a lot. I realize now that it was medicating, that the alcohol was usually, that's a symptom of the depression. And in my mind, my husband that I had seen on the mission field and worked hard every day of his life, now all of a sudden was becoming this person that I didn't recognize. And he was drinking daily, and then he would come down with ailments that would require pain pills, and he started taking prescription pain pills. And when you have an addictive personality, if one pain pill is good, then two's got to be better. And that's the path that Jeremy started on. And that led us into a whirlwind of craziness. In his depression, he made some pretty bad choices. In his self-medication, it exuberated those choices, and the consequences were great. He lost jobs, which were very good paying jobs, and if you don't have your money, you can't pay for your house. So we lost our house. We saw our, at the time, 7-year-old son get hit by a car. That was very traumatic for both of us. During this time, I was seeking God. I was completely blindsided, and I had no idea what was going on. And the only thing that I knew to do was to reach to God. I had grown up in church and was taught to believe that God has a purpose for everything that happens, and that if I love Him, then things will turn out for the good. And I decided at that time that I had to choose between bitterness and hope. And in the process of this deterioration of his mental health and our marriage, I clung to God. And I can remember a pivotal point in July of 2010 when I had gone to a conference. And in that conference, I heard straight from God, and God told me that I needed to let Jeremy cling to Him instead of me trying to make the connection for him. When I came back from that trip, I had revelation that God was going to give Jeremy redemption, and I chose to continue to believe that. And even though that our situation had not changed, our life was still in chaos and things were out of control, I chose to believe the promises that God had told me. Things did get better for a while, and eventually he would slip back into his addictions and his into himself, really. And I still clung to those promises. And in October of 2012, Jeremy committed suicide. I was thrown for a loop because I had believed the promises that God gave me, that Jeremy would have a redemption story. And what God has shown me since then, through recovery meetings that I've joined and been a part of, and is that Jeremy does have redemption. It just came in his death. And he is going to be able to tell his story, but it's going to be from my mouth. And it looks a lot different than than I had it in my mind, but God's promises are the same. There is redemption and there is recovery. Throughout our pain with our 2 little boys, Isaac and Bridgeton, that are 11 and 7, we still feel the effects every day that Dad's not around, and that that's the path that we're on. But there's also hope, because through this place, the Ridge Church, I met our future. And his name's Brad, and he has 2 boys. And God has chosen to take our stories and put them together and be able to walk our journey together, to be able to give glory to Him. We're getting married October 4th, just in a few weeks from now. And God promised me a bright future. It just didn't pan out the way that I thought it would, but He always takes care of me, and I have no doubts about that.